All right, let's dive into this career you've got us looking at today, the
Okay.
life and career of a sound operator.
That's good.
You've provided some really interesting role catcher resources,
Yeah, it looks like
and we're ready to unpack it all.
we've got excerpts from a sound operator career guide,
Okay.
info on role catchers interview prep tools, and details about their job searching platform.
You know, most people, when they think about going to a concert or a live show,
Yeah.
they're focused on the performers, the lights, the spectacle,
Right.
but there's this whole other world happening behind the scenes to make it all work.
Yeah, and the sound operator's right in the thick of it.
Right.
What I find really interesting is that this role catcher guide really emphasizes that it's not just about knowing how to work the equipment.
Okay.
It's about having an artistic sensibility as well.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Right.
Most people don't think artist when they think sound guy,
Yeah.
but I'm starting to see the connection here.
It's like the guide actually compares a sound operator's job to a painter using light and shadow to create a mood.
Interesting.
They're working with dynamics and nuances of sound to shape how the audience experiences a performance.
Okay.
It's about translating this artistic vision
Yeah.
into something people can feel through what they hear.
That's a really cool way to think about it.
Yeah.
So it's more than just like adjusting the volume knobs, right?
Way more.
We're talking about controlling the entire sonic landscape.
Exactly. And this is where it gets really technical.
Okay.
We're talking setting up complex PA systems, that's your public address systems,
Right.
making sure the sound reaches every corner of the venue. Then you've got your digital audio consoles.
Okay.
Think of them as the control centers for all the microphones, instruments, any audio source you can imagine.
So it sounds like you really need a solid understanding of both the art and the tech to succeed in this role.
Absolutely.
Mm.
And let's not forget about troubleshooting.
Oh, wow.
The guide mentions that live events can be unpredictable.
Yeah.
Things can go wrong, and you need to be able to think on your feet and solve problems quickly.
Oh, I can only imagine the pressure.
Yeah.
1 minute, everything's perfect. The next, a microphone goes dead and everyone's looking at you to save the show.
And that's where those problem-solving skills really come into play.
Wow.
The guide actually highlights a story about a sound operator who, during a live concert, had a major speaker malfunction.
Oh, no.
Instead of panicking, they were able to isolate the issue, reroute the sound,
Wow.
and the audience never even knew there was a problem.
That's incredible.
Right.
That takes some serious skill and a whole lot of cool under pressure.
Definitely. And it highlights something else. The guide emphasizes the importance of collaboration.
Okay.
A sound operator isn't working in isolation.
Right.
They're part of a team,
Yeah.
constantly communicating with the performers, the stage managers, the lighting crew.
Right. It's like they're conducting this invisible orchestra, making
Yeah.
sure all the elements are working in harmony.
That's a great way to put it. And it's not just about the technical stuff either.
Right.
It's about people skills too.
Okay.
The guide actually has a whole section on typical interactions,
Okay.
and a sound operator interacts with everyone.
Wow.
Other technicians, stage managers, performers, sometimes even the audience.
I bet those interactions can get pretty interesting,
Oh, yeah.
especially in the heat of the moment when the adrenaline's pumping.
Totally.
Neat.
Imagine trying to troubleshoot a feedback issue while a band is in the middle of a set,
Oh, yeah.
or dealing with a last-minute change in the performance order.
Right.
It takes a special kind of person to stay calm and collected in those situations.
No kidding.
Like,
It really makes you realize there's this whole human element to the job that you wouldn't necessarily think about.
right.
And speaking of things you might not think about,
Yeah.
this career guide also mentions that technology in this field is constantly evolving.
Oh, absolutely. It's not
Also-
like you just learn how to use a certain piece of equipment and you're set for life.
Right.
New software, new mixing consoles, new ways of doing things are always popping up.
So it sounds like you really need to be a lifelong learner in this field.
100%.
Always curious, always adapting.
And that's where these RoleCatcher resources you provided come in.
Right.
They've got this massive library of what they call skill guides,
Okay.
covering everything from audio engineering basics to advanced mixing and mastering techniques.
That's amazing. So whether you're just starting out or you're a seasoned pro,
Right.
there's always something new to learn and ways to level up your skills.
Exactly. And it's not just about the technical stuff either.
Right.
They've got guides on things like communication, problem solving, teamwork,
Okay.
all those soft skills
Yeah.
that are really crucial for success in any field,
Yeah.
but especially in a fast-paced collaborative environment like live events,
It's like having a whole career development toolkit at your fingertips.
right at your fingertips.
Speaking of careers, let's actually talk about the career path itself for a sound operator.
Okay.
What does that look like?
Sure.
Is it like a ladder you climb, or are there different branches you can explore?
That's a great question. And the RoleCatcher Guide actually outlines some typical career progressions.
Okay.
You might start out as an assistant sound operator,
Okay.
helping with setting up equipment, running cables, that sort of thing.
So you're paying your dues, learning the ropes from the ground up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as you gain experience, you can move up to positions with more responsibility,
Okay.
like becoming a lead sound operator for smaller events,
Right.
then maybe working your way up to larger venues, more complex productions.
So there's definitely room to grow and take on bigger challenges as you progress.
Absolutely. And what's really cool is that the guide mentions opportunities to specialize.
Oh, okay.
You could become a mixing engineer,
Right.
focusing on live sound for concerts or studio recordings,
Okay.
or you could get into mastering,
Uh-huh.
which is all about putting the final polish on a track before it's released.
That's pretty awesome. You could really carve out a niche for yourself based on your passions.
Exactly.
But let's be real, passion doesn't always pay the bills.
Right.
What's the earning potential like for sound operators?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Right.
And like many careers in the arts, it can be a bit unpredictable.
Yeah.
The guide mentions that income can vary depending on your experience level, your location, the type of gigs you take on.
Right. I imagine a sound operator working on a major music festival is probably earning a lot more than someone just starting out at a local bar.
Precisely.
Huh.
And that's something else to consider, the lifestyle aspect.
Okay.
The guide touches on this, mentioning that the work can involve long and irregular hours,
Right.
often including evenings and weekends.
Makes sense. Live events don't exactly follow a typical 9 to 5 schedule.
Exactly.
Mm.
But on the flip side, you're part of creating these amazing experiences for people.
That's true. That's the trade-off.
Right.
And it goes back to what we were saying earlier about finding a career that really aligns with your values
Yeah.
and your personality.
No, 100%.
Speaking of values,
Okay.
this whole deep dive has got me thinking.
Yeah.
We've talked about the technical skills, the problem solving, the collaboration. But what about the ethics of sound? I mean, like, we haven't even touched upon the fact that sound itself.
Right.
Sound itself has like a weight to it.
Yeah.
You know? It can influence mood, it can heighten emotions.
Absolutely.
Are there like ethical considerations
Yeah.
to think about when you're the one shaping those sounds for an audience?
100%. The power that a sound operator has is immense.
Right.
Think about it.
Yeah.
A laugh track
Yeah.
can make a bad joke hilarious.
Totally.
The score of a movie can make a scene
Yeah.
terrifying,
Oh, yeah.
or even manipulate
Yeah.
how we perceive a character.
It's true. You can make a crowd go wild at a concert just by
Totally.
how you build up the energy through the sound system. It's
Yeah.
like this subtle, almost invisible art form
Right.
that has this huge impact.
Yeah, and with that kind of influence,
Yeah.
the ethical questions kind of ask themselves,
Right.
where do you draw the line between
Right.
enhancing an experience and manipulating it?
Yeah.
You know, should a sound operator even be thinking about those things?
Right.
I don't know. There's a lot to unpack there.
It's true. It's like with great power comes great responsibility,
Right.
It makes you look at those typical interactions, the guide mentions, in a whole new light.
Totally.
The sound operator isn't just taking orders.
Yeah.
They're making artistic choices that are going to impact how everyone else's work is received.
Yeah, and that's what makes this such a fascinating field to dive into.
Right.
It's not just about,
Mm-hmm.
technical proficiency.
Yeah.
It's about understanding the effect that sound has on us as humans and using that knowledge responsibly.
This has been really eye-opening. We've gone from setting up mics to the philosophical implications of sound design.
I love it.
You've given us a lot to think about.
I love these deep dives.
Right.
It's so fun to take something that seems straightforward on the surface
Right.
and then really kind of unpack it.
So for someone listening who's now even more intrigued by the world of sound,
Right.
what would you say is like the key takeaway from all this?
I would say if you're curious, just dive in.
Sure.
Dive into those RoleCatcher skill guides,
Yeah.
research audio equipment,
Okay.
maybe even try to connect with some working sound operators.
So
Learn about their experiences.
it's about turning that initial spark of interest into a burning passion. And who knows, maybe one day you'll be the one behind the soundboard, crafting sonic experiences
100%.
that leave a lasting impact.
That's what it's all about.
Well, on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into the world of sound operators.
Awesome.
We hope you found this exploration insightful
Yeah.
and are ready to crank up your own career exploration.
There he is.
Until next time, keep those ears open to the possibilities.